Yeah, I'm doing them. All right, we have your picture of the order. Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Here.
Trustee Byrd. Trustee Canada. Here. Trustee Howard. Here. Trustee Jenkins.
Here.
Trustee May. Here. Trustee McGinnis. Here. Trustee Mailer. Here. Trustee O'Malley.
Here.
Trustee Rowe.
Here.
And Trustee.
All right, please note that there are, we have a quorum. Please note that there are items on your agenda that need to be adopted. Before I call for a vote of any items that you wish to be extracted from the consent agenda. Here none, I move for the adoption of the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, signify by saying nay. The agenda is adopted. The minutes for the September 17th, 2021 board meeting were circulated in advance. Are there any corrections or additions to these minutes? If no corrections, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
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 All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, by saying nay. Minutes are approved. At this time, I recognize President Latari, who will introduce today's campus.
Thank you. I am happy to introduce Dr. Karen Meisch, who is the Dean of the College of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, which we usually call the College of STEM. She's been the Dean of the College of STEM since 2019, but she's been at Austin Peay State University since 2007. During her time here, she's been the principal investigator, or co-PI, on more than $1 million in grants, and she has won numerous awards for teaching, advising, and research throughout her career. Dr. Meisch.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Chairman Atkins and distinguished Board of Trustees members. Each of you, and many of those watching this meeting virtually, are already aware that we have a somewhat hidden gem near campus, the Farm and Environmental Education Center. I want to spend some time today talking about the amount of educational opportunity this facility provides for the College of STEM and many other departments and colleges across campus. Before I begin my presentation, though, I would like to first recognize Dr. Don Sudbrink, Chair of the Agriculture Department and Coordinator of the Center, Dr. Alex King, Chair of the Physics, Engineering, and Astronomy Department, and Dr. Alan Smith, Professor of Astronomy, who are in attendance at today's meeting. I'm about to show you some wonderful things about our Farm and Environmental Education Center, and I want to make sure that they receive the recognition they deserve for all of the hard work they and all of their faculty and staff have put into maintaining and evolving the Austin Peay Farm into the Farm and Environmental Education Center it is today. This multi-use facility, hence the name Farm and Environmental Education Center, is located in the middle of the great city of Clarksville, approximately 1.8 miles from our campus in downtown Clarksville, and approximately 7.5 miles from the Austin Peay Center at Fort Campbell. The beautiful rolling 440 acres within the Highland Rim includes pastures, fields, forests, caves, and several buildings. The property was donated to the university in the 1960s as a teaching and working farm. And some of these buildings include the farm, shop, and lab, classrooms, observatory, and that large red building in the middle is the Brock Blick Animal Science Facility. While the Farm and Environmental Education Center's primary use is as a teaching lab for our agriculture science programs, it also serves as a lab and learning space for many other departments throughout campus, which I'll detail here in just a few minutes. The 1.2 million Brock Blick Animal Science Facility has recently been enhanced in its capabilities by the Brock Blick Fund of Excellence, which was made possible from generous donations from Mark and Jerry Blick. This space has revolutionized what we can do for our students in the agriculture program and allows us to provide a wide variety of hands-on classes and labs. The multi-use Gaines Hunt Classroom Lab is where we have many of our animal science and veterinary technology focused lectures and labs. The size of this space and the equipment in this classroom and lab are vital to our students getting hands-on experiences. Adjacent to the Gaines Hunt classroom is the Farm Credit Mid-America Animal Handling Lab. The Farm Credit Mid-America Animal Handling Lab is where the livestock can be safely monitored, treated, and immunized. Students are able to learn about state-of-the-art genetic herd improvement through embryo transfer technology with Dr. Rod Mills. Adjacent to the handling lab is the Joan and Ernie DeWald Livestock Pavilion, which is where our champion beef show team and prize beef cattle get a lot of practice and attention. It's important to note that this, of course, is also a working farm and made over $40,000 in fiscal year 21. These real-world learning experiences would not be possible without the great support from our donors, such as the DeWalds, pictured at the top, for which our livestock pavilion is named. These facilities have helped us graduate the second highest number of agriculture graduates ever during the 2020-21 academic year, which was, of course, all in the middle of a pandemic. In addition to the building spaces, the 440 acres also serves as a variety of natural labs and experimental spaces for learning opportunities, such as beekeeping, vegetable production. I'd like to note that the vegetables produced here in our Victory Garden go to the SOS Food Pantry to support our students. The Agriculture Department has also donated beef to fill the freezers at the pantry as well. The Farm and Environmental Education Center is also used frequently for our classes and labs, which helps students learn about soil science and forestry. It also serves as a location for classes in horse production, goat production, as well as other types of livestock and farming practices. It takes reliable, top-notch farm equipment to maintain operations and cultivate hay on these 440 acres. We've been very fortunate to receive great support from our friends at Coleman Tractor Company, our local Kubota dealer, who has supplied hundreds of thousands of dollars in farm equipment that supports our agriculture operations every day. The Agriculture Department has also hosted a variety of ag-related activities, such as the Coleman Tractor personnel training, Ag in the Classroom, Farm Bureau, Clarksville, Montgomery County School System faculty training, local high school student team participation in Montgomery County land judging contest, recruiting visits of dozens of Montgomery Central High School Ag Magnet students, hosting leadership Clarksville's Ag Day, as well as a consortium of veterinary clinics recruiting our students for clinicals. You may have noticed that we refer to this as the Farm and Environmental Education Center, although many people may be tempted to refer to it as the Austin Peay Farm. While agriculture is a central focus of the center, as I mentioned earlier, there are many other ways this facility is used. In 2017, this became an official NASA research hub for the total solar eclipse, hosting research for Austin Peay and several other universities and Space Camp students. It also served as an operations base for a live broadcast location for NASA television during the total solar eclipse. In fact, this is one of our very own physics students, Dominic Critchlow, being interviewed by NASA that was broadcast live to the New York Times Square during the eclipse. It's also a significant site for a Department of Physics, Engineering, and Astronomy with an on-site observatory. The primary telescope at the observatory is the 20-inch Cassegrain reflector. This is a large telescope used for general observing, class, and public open houses and supports faculty and student research. Students specifically learn how to image as well as image processing and data analysis. In the astrophysics lab, students learn additional techniques utilizing software, including image processing, to make 3-color images, determining magnitudes of stars, standardization, plotting techniques, and use of external databases. These skills are skills that will serve the students in a career or in graduate school and helps them compete for summer research programs like the National Science Foundation Research Experiences for Undergraduates or Department of Energy Summer Undergraduate Laboratory Internships. Shown here is former student and current instrument specialist Hope Head underneath the new Daniel Inouye Solar Telescope on Maui. The use of the equipment at Austin Peay and at Kip Peak has assisted us in placing multiple students at Fermilab for summer work and other observatories around the world. This is Deborah Gulledge, a recent graduate pictured here with a dark energy camera, conducting research on Cerro Tololo, Chile. While students are at APSU, they have tremendous research opportunities that often lead to our students being authors on peer-reviewed journal publications, contributing to international data collection, and presenting their work at scientific conferences around the globe. One of the things I'm most proud of as Dean of STEM. In addition to the observatory, there are a variety of renewable energy resources, including wind and solar power that help generate energy at the Farm and Environmental Education Center. Our geosciences department utilizes the site to conduct hydrology studies, testing for water quality in the wells. We also have the Robert Cirque Memorial Weather Station, which is utilized in our classes. The site is also used by our Geographic Information System, GIS Center, to teach precision agriculture through the use of drones and other technologies. Our biology department and the Center of Excellence for Field Biology utilize the property for a variety of research and classes, such as ornithology, ichthyology, mammalogy, ecology, and field research methods and training. The Farm and Environmental Education Center has a great depth of biodiversity and includes a number of rare wildlife species found in its forests, streams, and caves, including the blind cavefish, scorpion flower phacelia, and the endangered grayback. It's also used by our ROTC program for training in land navigation and has been used by Special Forces units and Army Veterinary Corps for education and training. This has hopefully given you a bit of insight into how important and treasured our Farm and Environmental Education Center is for our students, faculty, and staff, and gives you a better idea of all the programs it has a direct impact on. This concludes my presentation, and myself and the team I brought with me would be happy to take any of your questions. Or we can just enjoy the scenery.
I would like to say on behalf of the board members and others that were there last night at the event and looking through those telescopes and listening to staff out there, it was a tremendous evening. President Carney has passed his first evaluation by taking care of weather yesterday. It was a beautiful afternoon and beautiful night. Starry sky, and looking at it through those telescopes and talking to all the staff out there about the livestock and program they're doing. It's absolutely tremendous. So if you didn't get to be there last night, if you have another opportunity, you will really enjoy it and you don't want to miss it. So thanks a lot, Karen, and all your staff for taking care of us. A ride included.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
We'll have a brief pause if this one wants to, or even take a minute if not. In accordance with the bylaws, on October 24th, I appointed committee chairs and members. Those appointments have been circulated before and posted on the university website. Express my appreciation to all the trustees for their willingness to serve in these roles. Look forward to hearing from their committee reports today. So thank all of you very much. First on the is the Academic Affairs Committee report. I recognize Trustee May, Chair of the Academic Affairs Committee, to give us a report on the committee meeting.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my report for this morning's Academic Affairs Committee meeting. The committee reviewed and approved the following action item, which is on the agenda for your approval today, and that's the approval of the Bachelor of Science in National Security Studies. The committee also reviewed and approved the following action items, which were on the board's consent agenda today. Approval of elevation of public health education concentration to a standalone major of Master of Public Health in Public Health, and approval of termination of educational specialist degree. Provost Maria Cronley presented 2 information items related to fall census, enrollment, and academic affairs mission, vision, and core values. That concludes my report.
Trustee May's report contained one action item that we need to consider as a full board. Trustee May, do you have a motion for us?
You have a copy before you of the proposed Bachelor of Science in National Security Studies. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the proposed Bachelor of Science in National Security Studies.
You have heard the motion to approve the Bachelor of Science in National Security Studies. Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, will signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Next on the agenda is the Audit Committee report. I recognize Trustee Miller, Chair of the Audit Committee, to give us a report.
Thank you. The audit committee approved minutes from the September 17th, 2021 audit committee meeting and audit committee executive session. The audit committee listened to presentations regarding the following information items. Internal audit reports released between August 26, 2021 and November 10th, 2021 with a list of outstanding audit recommendations. A discussion of the Institute of Internal Auditors mandatory guidance on the principles of independence and objectivity, and information technology security update. That concludes my report of the audit committee meeting held on December 3rd, 2021.
All right, thank you, trustee Miller. Next is Business and Finance Committee report. There will be 2 action items. I recognize trustee Jenkins, chair of the Business and Finance Committee, to give us a report of the committee meeting yesterday.
Thank you, Chairman Atkins, for the opportunity to present my record from the Business and Finance Committee meeting. The committee reviewed and approved 2 action items, which are on the agenda for your approval today. Consideration of the October revised budget for fiscal year 2021-22 and football locker room project. The committee also reviewed 3 informational items: 22-23 Tennessee Higher Education Committee State Appropriations Distribution Recommendation, 22-23 THEC Capital Outlay and Capital Maintenance Projects, and 22-23 THEC Tuition and Fee Recommendation. And that concludes my report.
All right, trustee Jenkins' report contained 2 action items that we need to consider as a full board. Trustee Jenkins, do you have a motion for us on the October revised budget?
You have before you a copy of the October revised budget for fiscal year 2021-2022. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the October revised budget for fiscal year 21-22 as written.
The second is not required in this case. Is there any discussion? If not, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins,
Yes.
trustee Burr,
Yes.
trustee Canada,
Yes.
trustee Howard, trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
trustee May,
Yes.
trustee McGinnis,
Yes.
trustee Miller, yes, trustee O'Malley,
Yes.
trustee Rowe.
Yes. The motion carries. Trustee Jenkins, do you have a motion for us on the football locker room project?
Information about the football locker room project was provided to you in advance of this meeting. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the football locker room project.
You have heard the motion to approve the football locker room project. Since there is a motion on the committee, a second is not required in this case either. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed by nay? Aye. The motion carries. The next is Student Affairs Committee report. I recognize trustee McGinnis, chair of the Student Affairs Committee, to give us a report on the committee meeting. Trustee McGinnis.
Thank you, Chairman Atkins. Thank you for the opportunity to present my report for the morning Student Affairs Committee meeting. Committee reviewed and approved the following action item: approval of the September 17th, 2021 committee meeting minutes. And the committee also reviewed the following information items: Office of Disability Services. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee McGinnis. The next agenda item is a consideration of the updated university mission, vision, and values. Oh, skip the executive committee report. My apologies. And thank you for the opportunity to present my report on the morning executive committee report. In action items, the committee reviewed and approved action on the following policies, which were subsequently on the board's consent agenda today. Policy 1.010, appeals and appearance before the board. B, policy 1.012, inspecting and copying public records and related charges for producing copies of public records. C, policy 1.014, classifying students in state and out of state for purposes of paying fees and tuition and for admissions. B, policy 1.019, policy on access to and use of campus property and facilities. That concludes the report from the executive committee. The next is consideration of the updated university's mission, vision, and values. Prior to asking for a motion, I invite Ms. Whiteside to provide more information about this agenda item. Ms. Whiteside, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to present for your approval the university's mission, vision, and values developed by the Strategic Planning Committee over the last several months. Before I dive in, I want to just thank the committee. First of all, my co-chair, Emily Lean, and Dr. Pat Bailey, who helped really did a lion's share of the work in my absence. So I would zoom in as the meetings would occur, but they were doing a lot of the work behind the scenes and to help prepare. And then when I came back, was able to jump in. So I appreciate them and the committee who also spent countless hours really engaging in thoughtful discussion around who we are, where we want to go, and how do we present that in a way that everyone sees themselves in the mission, vision, and value. So I wanted to start with that note of thanks. And also thank you to Dr. LaCroix for trusting me with this process. It's been fun. And so I'm looking forward to moving into the spring semester. So let's go into our inaugural meeting. So we met first in August 24th, and we brought the whole committee together with the charge, with the committee charge to provide a timeline for the work, which was condensed, and really to get to know each other. And if you remember from our presentation before you the last time, it was a broad committee from various areas on campus, so that we had the opportunity to engage in multiple points of stakeholdering, and they worked to take the feedback back to their areas and have more discussion. So it was really a robust committee. And then we set expectations for what the group would build together in the process. So President LaCroix joined us at that meeting also to share his thoughts on the process and provide a really high level overview of the pillars or big buckets that he wanted to see in the plan. But I appreciate that he said, this is what I'm thinking of, but this is your purview to really talk about where we want to go. So we'll be dealing more into the pillars and big buckets as we move into the spring semester. But these are the things that he articulated: strategic enrollment, academic strength, institutional vitality, military, and employee success. So in the process, the Strategic Planning Committee met bi-weekly through October. Each meeting included a training element related to the creation of the three elements: the mission, vision, and values. A subcommittee was then created with a chair for each of those subcommittees to create statements that would be brought back to the committee as a whole. Then we would spend time talking about those. Sometimes they would bring something back, and then we're just like, okay, no, that's not working, throw it out, start over. Sometimes it would be frustrating, and then, we just got in there and did the work. So in October, 2 sessions were held to shape the statements and test them. And so by testing them, we sent an email to all faculty and staff and allowed them to provide anonymous feedback. In November, the committee held 5 town halls for community feedback, and people didn't hold back. They told us what we thought, and we listened and brought it back to the committee, and we retooled and reframed. And so it was a very iterative process throughout the whole thing. We also sent it to, SGA President Kito Root was on the committee. He also shared it with his senators. And so we didn't receive much feedback from them. So we think that means a good thing. So then the committee chair shared the statements with President's Council, with staff and faculty senates and senior leadership team. And ultimately it was approved by President LaCroix. And again, as changes were made in the process, each group received an updated copy based upon the feedback that we received. We also, as part of the process, gathered information from internal and external stakeholders through 3 surveys that were commissioned by the President's office and deployed by Dr. Andrew Luna in decision support and institutional research. And they consisted of a faculty and staff survey, a student survey, and a community survey. And these surveys contain 10 questions that were specific to each stakeholder group. And the surveys were provided to the Strategic Planning Committee with other institutional and economic data to support the planning process. The feedback was in the thousands, so we really feel like we got a number of opportunities for people to be engaged. And it really helped the committee further refine who we are as an institution. And so I say all that to say what you're about to see is really exciting work. And I want you to know that what you're about to see was not 10 people in a room making this up on our own. We really listened to people and gathered what they really felt was a true spirit of this institution. And so with that, without further ado, I'd like to share with you the mission, vision, and values that we created. So, and I'll read this mission and then we'll go to the values and or vision and values. I won't read those, but Austin Peay State University is a mission-driven, community-minded institution that provides transformational experiences through innovative, creative, and scholarly activities. We welcome and inspire an inclusive community of learners to make a positive impact regionally and globally. And as you read that, I hope you feel something like, this is really cool. Like, this is what you all do. This is the purpose of you being on this board, is to help us be that mission-driven and community-minded institution. Here's our vision: a university of choice for those seeking to improve their lives. And we describe the ways that we intend to do that through student-centered teaching, unique development opportunities, focusing on innovative research and public service. And then finally, our values: academic excellence, integrity, community, personal growth, lifelong engagement, and collaboration. This is how we will engage in our work. So our mission is what we're going to do. Our vision is ultimately what we want to be, and our values is how we're going to get that done. What's next? We are in our planning phase. So as you all know, we're operating under the Leading Through Excellence strategic plan. So that is going to, we're going to take a look at that plan and retool it. There are some things in there that are totally appropriate for where we want to be in the next 5 or so years. But then there will be some things that we will abandon and not do anymore. And so we'll be talking about that. The integrated planning approach for revising the plan will focus on awareness of other planning processes and initiatives on campus and include multiple stakeholders, as we've done in this cycle. So for example, academic affairs process for creating a unit level strategic plan began with their mission and vision process as well. Dr. Crowley's mentioned that to you. The exchange of information and inclusion of members on both committees allowed for a more integrated approach. And so this approach will be essential as we move into pillar and goal creation in spring 2022. And as we had this past semester, it will be a short timeline. And so we hope that we'll bring a final product, a well-vetted product, a inspirational plan back to you in June for your review and approval. So each step will provide training and pillar and goal and will be charged to subcommittees for their development. For the mission, vision, and values, there were smaller subcommittees, but because this is a broader plan, our subcommittees will be larger to encompass more voices. And again, they'll work together to complete assessments, gather feedback, and define what our wildly important goals will be for the future. So we're excited about this work, and it was fun, even though sometimes it's like, okay, what word goes here to say inspirational, but it's not inspirational. Like, it was really, it really exercised your brain and really figuring out the best way to say who we are. So it was fun. With that, I'll take any questions that you might have or any thoughts about what you see here, and then it'll be up to you to yes or no.
Any questions, comments?
Good job.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the updated university mission, vision, and values as written. Do we have a motion? Moved. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I'm just very, very proud of Danelle and Emily and Kat for providing their leadership throughout this process. And I'll say a few things later in my remarks, but I just at this time wanted to say that, I did have a pretty aggressive timeline expectations. I do think that work expands to the time that you give it. And they met that challenge with a great result. I'm very, very happy with the mission, vision, and value statements that were produced. And so my hat's off to them.
All right, thank you, President McCory. Any further comments? Here none, the motion is to approve the updated university mission, vision, and values as written. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Next item is the student affairs highlights. I now invite Dr. Eric Norman, Vice President for Student Affairs, to share highlights of the Student Affairs Division. Dr. Norman.
Good afternoon. Throughout the COVID pandemic, Student Affairs has offered a variety of programs and services to connect students to campus. That being said, many of the large-scale programs were halted or postponed during the pandemic, and a variety of restrictions were put into place, including social distancing, mask wearing, limited attendance, virtual programming, and discontinuation of most food distribution. As a result, our freshmen and sophomore students have not witnessed campus life in its traditional form, while our juniors only had one semester of typical programming. This year, with more students back face-to-face, we have purposely focused on connecting students with more traditional programming. And we're happy to teach them about what campus life has to offer after a challenging year and a half. The intensity is quite noticeable, and I'm quite confident we've provided a highly memorable and impactful collegiate experience for our students. Each of our centers has been busy with new programs and initiatives. We primarily focused on a few themes: programs and traditions, mentoring, mental health, and well-being. Programs and traditions. We were able to start this year off with Camp Row, which is an extended orientation program. This allowed students a deep dive into history and traditions of campus while having an opportunity to meet in small groups with campus leaders. We segued into Apex Weekend and Welcome Back Week. This year, we were able to host freshman convocation, resource fairs, and an ice cream social, our first Gov's Garage car show, our first generation college student celebration, and a new event, Glowchella, an open air rave type event where over 600 students attended. Gov's Color Run, a housing block party, and a movie. We also had a silent disco and a freshman service project. We hosted a variety of open houses and welcome events that cascaded into our regular fall programming. Other new initiatives included Skull Games, which is a Halloween competition between students, our Stuff with Pride LGBTQ+ history event, and we took students bowling into the African American Music Museum in Nashville. We were able to host all our homecoming events, including Mud Bowl, a bonfire, comedy show, musical chairs, lip sync, homecoming bash, parade, homecoming court, and the NPHC step show. This past week, we held our fall festival, which included DJ, pumpkin smashing, pie throwing, free Wendy's chili. Thank you, Trustee O'Malley. Thank you. Photos, face painting, and a variety of prizes. For mental health, this semester, our Adults in Non-Traditional Center began a parenting series with the Psychology Department and Mid-Tennessee Child Care Resource and Referral Network, virtually and in person. The topics discussed this semester were positive discipline, building emotional connections with children, and the 5 love languages of children, which is a 3-part series. Latin Community Resource Center has commenced El Centro after hours in collaboration with the Department of Psychology, Science, and Counseling. They're now open until a later time to provide students with snacks and extra time to study. During this time, students majoring in counseling hosted group sessions for students to navigate through problems and emotional concerns. In the Newton Center, we started working with Dr. Andrew Kester, the Director of Montgomery County Veteran Services. He comes to the center once a month to help student veterans with disability and compensation inquiries and any other VA-related questions. We started working with the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic staff, where they offer lunch and learn sessions on topics related to mental health. In addition, We held a back-to-school VA fair in collaboration with the bookstore, Veterans Up and Bound, and Student Account Services. For mentoring and the Wilbur N. Daniel African American Cultural Center, we put into place this fall a Black Male Bridge program, a peer mentor group for incoming freshmen and sophomores. Mentored by our longstanding upper class achievers and scholars, we aim to intentionally recruit and retain students with academic challenges with the goal of converting them to transition into our Achievement and Scholars program. In parallel, the Sisters Inspiring Sisters Black Women Peer Mentoring Group is recruiting upper class students to serve as mentors. While this population has minimal issues with academic success and retention, there are other more important topics this group will tackle, such as mental health, support, self-esteem, and uplifting each other. Lastly, we held the WINDAC and NPHC Jam after hours program that helps introduce the Wilbur N. Daniel African American Cultural Center students to our NPHC Divine Nine organizations on campus to our new students. Familiarizing this younger population with both of them at the early time in the collegiate career can improve their access to resources available to them and increase activity and retention. In adults non-traditional transfer center, we held tradition hours, transfer student leader office hours, and they provided an opportunity for students to find a class before the semester began. We also began an after-hour usage here and in the Latin Community Resource Center, where students are given swipe access to utilize the space to study, which is very popular amongst our parenting students. The intent is to empower our students to help using other students with and without professional staff. At the Center for Service Learning and Civic Engagement, we observe sustainability, leading to a rebranded office called Civic Engagement and Sustainability. We now coordinate recycling at home football games, and we've reinstituted the Living Green Community Housing Community in Housing. We also have a new financial literacy program that is facilitated by our AmeriCorps Vistas and is co-sponsored by Gov's Spark Money. At the FOI, we initiated esports intramurals and the Women's Rec, which is an acronym for Recreation Empowerment Courses, which is designed to introduce beginners to things outside of the comfort zone. We spent 4 weeks learning about camping, safety, and fitness, building up to a backpacking trip to Savage Gulf Natural Area in Eastern Tennessee. With the low ropes course completed, the low ropes challenge courses were offered to provide a different perspective to traditional team building. This fall, the course has been used by the Latin Community Resource Center, Gov's Lead Program, our Gov's Programming Council, and multiple APSU athletic teams. Career Services has held a wellness event where each participating department or organization provided an activity focused on one of the 9 dimensions of wellness, which includes physical, emotional, creative, environmental, financial, occupational, intellectual, social, and spiritual. Ecology's food truck was particularly a big hit. We launched a series of 6 career exploration group counseling sessions this semester, targeted around APSU majors and Holland codes. The students' Holland code can now be used to determine using an interest-based quiz embedded in the Career Coach software, which is available on our D2 shell. These group counseling sessions allowed students to brainstorm and discuss their career plans with other Govs and a trained career advisor. The goal of these sessions is to empower students in their career planning process and help them connect with their students with their interest to other jobs. We also held a network event at Strawberry Alley. For our future vision, in the next 5 years, we want to find additional connections with the academic departments to provide new living and learning communities. We're working together on that one. We will develop special interest housing to address identifiable causes and interests. This could range from a nursing residence hall to students who have an interest in entrepreneurism. We want to infuse more mental health elements and financial literacy into our curriculum while addressing the other dimensions of well-being. We'll also look for additional partnerships with industry to establish new internships and externships and full-time positions. This will hopefully include dedicated sponsorships by companies. We'll continue to track our shifting demographics and find ways to increase our focus and connection as they emerge. As mentioned previously at other meetings, we have an existing focus on recruiting and retaining Latinx students, and I see this accelerating in the near future. We need to recognize our large non-traditional population and their unique needs. Childcare is also an ongoing challenge that we need to navigate to assist in the enrollment of our students with children. Mentoring opportunities will continue to guide students through the degree and into the career pathway, and we may push into high school. This will be facilitated by our capable staff, our trained student leaders. The success of the division rests on the shoulders of these world-class professionals. They continuously rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the campus what student development means in the 21st century. I'm blessed to work with such an incredible group of professionals. What questions do you folks have?
How did you get all that done?
All those.
Wow. Impressive.
It is impressive. I was charged to show what we did new, and I honestly didn't think we would have quite that much.
As a student, I just want to say thank you for all of that. I've been to a lot of those events and you guys all just do a really, really good job. And I see you everywhere. So that's just a testament to your leadership. You're always present. So thank you. On behalf of us.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Norma? Thank you very much.
Of the students on campus, do you think 80% participate in these events, 50%, 40, 30?
Yeah, okay, so here's the challenge right now. So we actually take swipe access or we have them scan in. So we get a general idea, but we don't know if there's duplication or not because there are 5 different databases. So I'm looking at a software system that will call this together to figure out what is replicated and unreplicated. Traditionally, you look at probably between 20 and 33% of our campus being engaged. Now, that doesn't mean they were never engaged. Obviously, a large percent of our students work. Many of them do not live on campus. So we're always trying to convert those students that are only parking lot, campus parking lot students to be able to connect. And we want to try to figure out what is the appropriate navigation of that. So, for example, career services. We want to drive students into career services their first semester. So they start building up their resume, cover letter. They understand what are the different career fields they can merge into based upon their degree choice. And we're going to have them take some assessments. If we do that early on, then we can help guide them as they progress through that. I always think junior year, I want them to have an internship. Senior year, I'd love to have them have a second internship. We know students are connected with any one professional on campus, whether it be in student affairs, academic affairs, building grounds. That person is more likely to be retained. So how do we make sure that we have this cohort of individuals connected with at least one professional that understands who they are and quite frankly looks for them to come on campus and have that conversation? Custodians, food staff, and if you ever go to the cafeteria, I think they'll learn your name really, really quickly. It's really neat to watch. So for me, I love some of the professionals that we have because they're very intentional to make sure that we make that connection and hook them in. But to answer your question, we're trying to measure that to figure out what exactly we're dealing with as far as the number of engagement.
Well, I learned several things, but I've never heard of Glowchella.
It's a new event.
Was that an Austin Pete branded kind of thing?
It was so.
I mean, everybody looked like they were having fun, but
When
okay.
It squirted at them. It went longer than we expected. And in the past, we would say students would go to an event and then stay for a very finite period of time and then leave. This one, we had to shut it down.
I'm so glad to be around other students.
I know there's a lot of that. They're having a good time. They're bouncing around for hours. And usually you have a quick rush, but we were still scanning people in and having them sign the waivers. Actually, I kept running back to the office because I hit a stack of waivers and then keep coming back. I had to make more paint to throw at people as well.
Trustee May just said to me that we need something like that, Chairman Act. Trustee May, I'm just saying.
Let me know here. What about you? Any other comments, discussion? If not, our next item is our president's report. At this time, I recognize President Torrey to give his report and also report on any interim items.
Thank you, Chairman Atkins. First of all, I'd like to welcome our new trustee, Dr. Thoreau, to his first board meeting. Thank you for stepping up and stepping in and lending your time and talents to help the university. So much appreciated. I'd also like to wish Trustee O'Malley a happy birthday. Now, at the end of my first 9 months here at Austin P, I can tell you that I really am more excited about this institution than I was when I started, which I didn't think was quite possible. I but I want to take a minute and reflect on some of the remarks that I made at my installation, because I think they're directly linked to some of the actions that the board has taken today. In my remarks last month, I focused on having enthusiastic optimism about trying new things and ensuring that the university does not get stuck in ruts, unsure of or afraid to innovate as the landscape of higher education changes around us. And I pledge to enhance and grow that innovative spirit as we look forward to serving our current students and future students and communities. And so to that end, I'm very, very excited about the new mission and vision and value statements that you just approved earlier in this meeting. You know, as we shift our focus now, as Danelle mentioned, to the development of the new strategic plan this spring, these statements will help ground our understanding in who we are, where we're going, and how we'll get there. So special thank you to Danelle Whiteside, Dr. Emily Lean, who's the Associate Dean of the College of Business, both of whom co-chaired the steering committee, and to Dr. Catherine Bailey, who's providing crucial project management and ensuring the process continues to move forward. Through their leadership, and as you heard in Danelle's earlier presentation, that process was engaging and participatory. And as a result, the statements that you approved went through multiple revisions based on a steady stream of feedback from across campus. In essence, these statements are ones that the Austin Peay community owns. They are theirs. And so I think that's absolutely crucial. And so again, thank you, Danelle, for your leadership in that process. Continuing with COVID updates. First of all, I just want to make sure that people have some context for the situation on campus. Our known COVID numbers as of this morning are quite low, just 12 cases on campus right now. And so, you know, campus remains safe and campus remains in good health conditions related to COVID. The legal landscape here continues to shift, and we've been monitoring that closely. As you might imagine, we've fielded a lot of questions from faculty and staff and students. Currently, the university is not allowed to have a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate, although we can encourage both, and we are. One slight exception is that employees, both faculty and staff at our Fort Campbell facility, are considered official visitors and therefore must attest to their vaccination status. That only affects those who are working at Fort Campbell, though, and does not extend to the rest of the campus. We will, of course, continue to keep track of things as developments unfold and as new court decisions are made, but that is the lay of the land as of this week. There is a lot of good news coming out of academic affairs. I'm very happy about the accreditation of the College of Education. This entire college went through their reaccreditation process and came out with flying colors and a completely clean bill of health. I want to emphasize that this is extremely rare, that the accreditors found nothing that needed any improvements in that college. And so congratulations to the dean, Dr. Prentice Chandler, and his entire college. I'm also very pleased that the Masters of Social Work received initial accreditation this month. To place that into some more context, we are now the only public university with an accredited Masters of Social Work program in Middle Tennessee. So once again, there are pieces of Austin Peay State University that are unique and that we need to be singing from the hilltops. Progress on establishing the new Institute for National Security and Military Studies is moving along quite nicely. The last finalist for the director position was on campus interviewing yesterday. So that work is just about done. The establishment of the new institute is also connected to the new academic program in National Security Studies that you approved earlier this morning. That program will really provide the academic underpinning for the work of the institute, and I'm very pleased that that is finally moving forward. Exciting research that connects the university to the surrounding community continues. I had the chance to visit with Dr. Dwayne Estes, a faculty member in the biology department, who heads our Center for Excellence for Field Biology and the Southeastern Grasslands Initiative, as he worked with faculty, students, and Google employees at the Prairie that represents a partnership with Google in the industrial park. Initiatives like that, I think, exemplify the unique learning environment that Austin Peay provides, as well as being that powerful resource for Montgomery County and Middle Tennessee that we are. In my remarks each meeting, I always include a student spotlight. That spotlight this time is actually on an opportunity that a number of students recently had due to the engaging academic environment that we provide. 18 Austin Peay students presented research at the Tennessee Academy of Sciences annual meeting this past month. 3 of those students were freshmen who are STEM scholars, which is a new program that was launched this fall to recruit high-achieving students, match them with peer mentors, upperclassmen, and give these new freshmen research and leadership opportunities right off the bat. Freshmen Amelia Beck and Avery Moser, who are both biochemistry majors, working with chemistry professor Dr. Anuradha Pathinaraje. Biology major Lena Skaggs collaborated on research with mathematics professor Dr. Ramanjit Sahi. And so these are 3 freshmen who haven't even been on campus for 6 months yet and are already presenting their research that they're working on with faculty. Our graduate students who presented in the conference did very well as well. Sarah Kruger, Sarah Zirkle, and Trevor Walker, who are all graduate students of Dr. Catherine Haas, swept the awards for the ecology and the evolution section. And Jacob Lemon, a graduate student of Dr. Manisha Gupta, won first place in the botany and cell and molecular biology. Yeah, so our students are great. Our faculty are wonderful because they provide these opportunities that don't exist in most other universities. And so I'm incredibly proud of the work that our students and faculty are doing. Good news continues to roll in from the advancement division. We're still outpacing last year in all categories, number of gifts, number of donors, and total revenue raised. I think success in fundraising is an indicator that we are a trusted institution and that the work that we're doing resonates with our external audiences. And so this is an important barometer for me to understand how well our university is doing. And considering last year was a record or near record, we're in really good shape. So kudos to Chris Phillips and his entire team. In athletics, the football team ended the season with a winning record. And Coach Scotty Walden certainly has brought energy to the program. This year, we set a new record for football revenue, and that's even despite the fact that we had pretty lousy weather for a number of our home games. Our volleyball team was unfortunately defeated in the semifinal round of the conference tournament, which was disappointing given how well they played all season. But I think Coach Taylor Mott is very close to securing that conference championship. Men's and women's basketball are both off to an exciting start with big wins on the road at Dayton and Howard for the men, Butler for the women. There's certainly a lot of excitement around these 2 teams with their new coaches. Finally, in conclusion, your packet includes a list of contracts and agreements that have been executed and a state building commission action that has occurred since the last board meeting. Thank you. This concludes my remarks.
Thank you, President Licari. Any comments or questions of our president? If not, I want to wish everyone a happy and safe Christmas. Enjoy the holidays. Be careful. Be safe. We need everyone back. And with that said, I move the meeting adjourned. You have a second. You have a second. It is moved and seconded. Meeting adjourned. All those in favor say aye.